he realizes that the man's heart remained evil. And I think it's interesting that the root word for imagination, of course, is image. And I think our world is dealing with that today, don't you think? Having an image, but also nothing but images on our cell phones, on our TVs, on our computers. Image, 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 image. And we're just inundated. The imagination. Isn't it amazing when you get man involved in particular things, how quickly he ruins them? I mean, the way email began, and then suddenly let's throw viruses on or junk mail and all that stuff. It's like something good can come, and then man just ruins it because he has an evil imagination. I mean, I don't know who these guys are, but who like to send viruses. But I go, don't you have anything better to do in life? It's just like, really? Is this what you want to do in your life, is just send out viruses? But see, the imagination of man's heart is evil continually. This flood didn't change anything. Man's heart is still deceitfully wicked. And so it's getting bad. I don't know if you heard they have the new amazing Android apps for dummies. A book on how to download your apps and all the images that you see. You see what I'm saying? I think it's interesting. But God did promise never to flood the earth. And then thirdly, you had the seasons. While the earth remains, you and I are going to go through cycles and seasons. And it happens a lot in life. You guys all know about seasons of life, don't you? And I think it's interesting when he mentions here, while the earth remains. In other words, as long as it's here, get over it. This is what's going to happen. You're going to have seed time. You're going to have time where you're going to be planting seed in your life. You're just going to be planting. And then, man, the harvest is going to come in. Don't you love the harvest? The times, when you're seeding, you're planting seed into the hearts of people, and man, you look at them, you share with them, and they don't get saved. But then there's times when there's harvest time, and all you have to say is Jesus, and they go, oh, and they want to get saved. Because it's harvest time. And there's something about that. I don't know what it is, but it's so cool when that happens. Don't you love that? Have you ever had that happen to you where you just say a couple of words and suddenly they want to get saved? It's just so awesome. You know that seeds have been planted in their life, and then finally there's a harvest time for them. But then sometimes life can get cold. Sometimes my heart can get cold. Sometimes my situation can get cold. But then sometimes it heats up. Now I'm burning for God. And I'm just really enjoying my life with God. And then there's the winter dormant times, where it just doesn't seem like anything's happening. But the Lord makes it beautiful with snow. Along with all that ice and frigid air, He throws these beautiful snowflakes my way just to remind me that He's still good. But then summer comes, and man, things heat up. Things get tough. I start going through trials. It's hot and heated, but I'm enjoying it because I know the Lord is causing my heart to burn more for Him. And then day, man, well, sometimes when things seem so, I'll read the Bible and things are so clear, and I can, don't you love those times you're reading the Bible, it's like, yeah, I get that, wow, that's awesome. And every day for like 3 days in a row or 4 days, you're just going, man, it's just coming, and you can see it, it's so clear, and then night comes. And then you're going, nothing, and you just read the guy, I get nothing here. It's nighttime, and I can't see nothing. Everything's just sort of black and dark. Those are seasons that we go through. And it shall not cease. And then, like I said, the first mention of government. As you know, man's blood is sacred. And later in the law, he would say an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. And then Jesus would later say, this is the covenant in my blood. You see, God, there's life. That's what the Leviticus tells us. There's life in the blood. Now, sadly, our culture doesn't see the need for capital punishment. Many want to fight that. But you guys know what it's like. We see the repeat offenders and offenders constantly being let off, and they just go kill again. support him for life in jail. According to a 1990 study, the annual cost to maintain an inmate in a cell is $20 grand a year for the taxpayer. Together, these costs mean an annual expenditure of $25,000 to incarcerate an inmate. Based on a sentence term of 40 to 45 years, one inmate would cost the taxpayer slightly more than $1 million. God was trying to save us some money. And I say that with right judgment. In other words, people who do not value life, who take life time and time and time again, God says put them out because they're just going to kill again. And because of courts and lawyers, perhaps you remember Ted Bundy. His cost was $5 million to finally put him down. So government structure is established here by God. Man is now given the responsibility to recognize the sacredness of life and capital punishment as a just penalty for murder. You murder, you die. And of course, when we get into the law, there's stipulations and clarifications. And then finally, the Noahic covenant. God sets the rainbow as a token and a pledge of the covenant. And I love it because of the colors. Because if you read about the grace of God that Peter refers to, the manifold grace of God, it means many colors. So the idea of the rainbow, the many-colored ways of God, it's the grace of God. It has many colors. It's like the bow of the rainbow. And as you have seen, how many enjoy seeing those full, complete rainbows? Aren't they cool? Really cool. Have you found a pot of gold under them yet? No, it doesn't happen yet. But it's really, really cool because the idea of the rainbow is a bridge between heaven and earth. That God is making a bridge and saying, hey, I've created through my Son an opportunity. And isn't it interesting when you read Revelation chapter 4, what's there? A rainbow. And it goes all the way around. Now, it doesn't stop between heaven, it goes all the way around. It's a complete circle in heaven, in the throne room of God. So that's just one of many covenants that we'll talk about as we continue to go through Genesis. But God is certainly living up to his promises and is willing to put his reputation on it. And so that's why we take communion tonight, to remember the things that he has done for us and to give him thanks. And tonight I want to especially invite you to reach out to the dove. Take him into your ark. If you are in need of the empowerment of the Holy Spirit, you can do it right where you're at. Penny will be over here. And Fritz, just go stand. If you want prayer, it's okay, man. No one's going to think you're being weird by going and standing over there. But just go stand there and say, I just want someone to pray for me. Because the Bible tells us that the Spirit came upon people when hands were laid on them. If you need hands laid upon you, it's okay. You're not being weird. You're not being stupid. You're not being weak.